Oturugbeke, probing Nigerian politicians for alleged corruption is like looking for water on cocoyam leaves. It is always frustrating as they come up with different tactics to evade justice. Some have carved a niche for themselves in the art of fencing, and it is almost always over one issue: corruption allegations. In other instances, some suddenly took ill when they were to be probed, and we have a list of people by Daily Trust on how some prominent class in Nigeria apparently use ill health as a strategy to get out of trouble. And the first person is Abakari. At least that's the one. That is the one that is happening recently, and they use the same style. The supposedly most decorated officer in the history of the Nigerian police force is believed to be the latest person to adopt this strategy. Kyari, who is currently under the custody of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLA) over alleged drug trafficking, applied for bail after a week in detention in an ex parte motion marked FHC slash ANJ slash CS slash 182 slash 22. Kyari, through his lawyer CO Ikenna, sought bail on health grounds, saying, "My lord, Kyari's condition at the custody is critical. Hey, within 1 week, I filed a motion to admit the applicant to a bail on health grounds pending the determination of the substantive matter," she told the court. The second person is Fani Kayode. 6 years before Kyari caught the headlines for the wrong reason, Femi Fani Kayode, a former aviation minister, suddenly slumped at the premises of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in Abuja while in detention over 4.9 billion naira he allegedly obtained illegally from the former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki. The ex-minister, who served as a spokesman of the Goodluck Jonathan campaign in the build-up to the 2015 election, fell ill after spending 67 days in detention. The FCC is currently trying him for forgery as he was said to have obtained false medical documents to evade justice. The next person again is Olisa Metu. In 2018, Olisa Metu, a former spokesperson of the PDP, took the drama a bit higher as he was brought into a federal high court in Abuja in an ambulance and pushed into the courtroom of on a stretcher. Before then, there had been different dramas on ill health. He once collapsed while walking to the dock. The judge, Justice Ekon Abang, however, proceeded with the trial even while the defendant was on the floor, despite an expression of disapproval from Metu's counsel. The former PDP spokesman was standing an alleged 400 million naira fraud. You don't say na 400, na million safe. And Fenika you don't was a billions. 400 million fraud trial and transaction of $2 million cash that didn't go through a financial institution. Yeah. The next person is Dino Melaye. That one a champion. The senator who represented Kogi West in the 8th National Assembly slumped at the police headquarters in Abuja, appearing weak and unable to walk by himself. Melaye had been arrested after he refused to honor a police invitation for about 8 days over an investigation into certain assassination attempt claims. Another person is Cecilia Ibru. In 2009, the former CEO of the Font Oceanic Bank PLC, Cecilia Ibru, collapsed in the dock while charges against her were being read. Ibru, who all had appeared stressed up before collapsing, suddenly slumped in the dock after 18 of the 25 counts charge had been read to her, which caused a panic in the court. The session had to be halted for about 10 minutes before a doctor who had accompanied her to the court attended to her and informed the court she was fit to continue with the trial. Okay. Another one, I thought this one would not even be there. Kamebra Dikumo Ponde. That one is when they are saying off mic, off mic. Those ones are the NDDC. Ponde was the acting managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), who in 2020 passed out during a session At a House of Representatives committee probing financial misappropriations in the commission, he was being questioned over alleged mismanagement. That one is really funny. That's why I'm even laughing. Mismanagement of 81.5 billion. All this on our bros. Oh. Hey, all this on our bros. 81.5 billion naira by the interim management of the NDDC. He was leading. When he fainted, the session had to be adjourned for 15 minutes to enable the lawmakers to determine whether or not to continue the probe. Another one is our madam. Desiani Alison Madueke. Alison Madueke was a minister of petroleum under President Goodluck Jonathan. She allegedly stole billions of dollars. That one said, no be naira, billions of dollars, according to the EFCC. Shortly after the President Muhammadu Buhari won the 2015 election, she was reportedly sighted with him in the same plane jetting out of the country. Some months later, pictures of her looking old with wrinkled skin and deteriorating hair were released by Dele Momodu, the publisher of Ovation magazine, who is currently a presidential aspirant of PDP. In an interview she granted to Momodu's online platform, the boss, Diziani, had said she had been undergoing chemotherapy. Another one is a Abdul Rashid Mena. That one, our pension money. That one just chop. The same thing. He has been going back and forth. Himself and his son, they've been going back and forth. Oh, this and this and this and that. You know, all those, they are long stories. Another person is Akim Osiki. That one is as it is with civilians, so it is in the military. They are all Nigerians after all. In September 2019, Major General Akim Otiki, General Officer commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army, appeared in a wheelchair during his trial in the General Court Martial. He was accused of having stolen large sum of money. Another is a Haliru Mohammed. In January 2016, Aliru Mohammed, former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), appeared before a federal high court in Abuja in a wheelchair following allegations of his involvement in the 2 billion naira arms deal. Another is a Kingsley Kuku. Na so all of them job bill. Kingsley Kuku, former advisor to former President Jonathan on amnesty in a program. Kingsley Kuku left the country shortly after Jonathan's tenure ended. The FCC had summoned him to answer questions bordering on misappropriation of funds, but had immediately written a letter to the agency saying he would not honor the invitation because he was at a US hospital. He later released photos of himself at the St. Andrew Hospital, Birmingham. Is he Birmingham or is he UK? Okay, Birmingham, Alabama, where he was said to have underwent a knee surgery. So when it comes to time for them to be probed, sickness begin to appear. The one that is even funny, the recent one is Abakari. Just Abakari is the one suing the federal government, NDL 100 million, 500 million. He's calling for his release. He's not well. He's diabetic. He's this and that. Just within 8 days. So all this why that he was suspended, that even had the infantry to go and be working while on suspension to go and be having this drug deal. He didn't see anything. No chronic diabetes, but all of a sudden diabetes don't come. So guys, I'll leave your comment down there below and let's have your take.